So this is a progress report on how I'm going with the wiring. But before I start the wiring, I just want to show you the front nose cone. So I got the brackets from MK. Actually, I got the plans from MK and I got them made by Send Cut Send. And as you can see, the results look pretty good. I'll probably end up painting this black, but the idea is that the nose cone will fit underneath here and around on the top so that it's held in place. Also, this is a great shroud to force air through there. The only thing I need to do is to put a block off plate underneath here to make sure the air actually goes through the coolers, but I'll do that. So this is where I am with the wiring. I've got all the sensors that I can find plugged in. This is the rectifier wire. I've unsheathed this because it's way too long. The rectifier is actually under here, so I'm going to shorten that just to keep it tidy. Many of the wires are unsheathed on there, so I will be wrapping them once I've ascertained that everything works correctly. What you see here are little harness extensions. So this is the handlebar left connector. I bought some extension harnesses that I can use. So I plug it in there, and various wires will go to various places, either on the dash or in other parts of the car, the relay box, for example. And similarly for the front lights, here are the instruments. The instrument connector is down there as well. So that's all a way of using the harness, but without actually cutting wires and re-terminating them. I wanted to do it this way because if the harness is broken or damaged, it's easy enough just to replace it and plug these things back in again. They're already be terminated. Unlike a lot of cars, I've got the battery actually close to the top here. So I've got some space underneath for the relays and fuses from the bike engine. This is my relay box that you've got here. You can see I've got power lines here. Now everything is a mess. It will be tidied up in due course, but the idea is that I plug everything in and then I'll test it circuit by circuit just to make sure I've got continuity and I haven't got any shorts. Well, I've got the throttle cable in, as you can see over here. What I'm going to do now is put the exhaust manifold on because I'm going to use the O2 sensor. So I've just test fitted the exhaust, and these numbers on the exhaust don't correlate to the cylinder numbers. So it was a bit of a puzzle to start with, but I've got it in there and that looks great. So what I've got is the O2 sensor here. I'll probably end up putting a hole through the side panel here with a grommet so that this is on the other side of it, rather than actually take it through by the exhaust, around the exhaust where the main hole is. I just want to keep it away from the heat. So I believe that's all the major engine sensors that are attached. Now the next thing is to start wiring up all the switches, the Deutsch connectors from the dash into the actual ECU tray, just to get those circuits done. Okay, the wiring is more or less complete now. I haven't terminated the rear lights, but I've got the fuel pump and fuel sender in. We've got the wires going through to the reverse motor, the handbrake switch. The speed sensor is down there as well. Going through the transmission tunnel, you'll see the main wire going to the reverse motor. Going back to the front of the dash, that hasn't changed too much. That was wired previously. And this mess on top of the ECU panel up here is all connected up. Now, nothing has been routed and nothing has been taken to the right length, but I believe the wires are complete. We can see here we've got a lot of wires going through the transmission tunnel into the engine bay. We've got the bike loom hooked up to the coil packs and the cam sensor and throttle position sensors over here. Let me go around. We've got the fans up here. Moving around the car, we've got the lights installed. We can see the wires here. We've got the indicator and the main lights there. Similarly on the other side. And then around here, we've got the harness going to the injectors. We've got the throttle position sensors. We've got various oil pressure sensors. We've got brake actuation sensor down there, and going back to this panel here. So this is a major achievement. There's a lot of work done in getting it this far. It still looks ghastly. It needs to be cleaned up, but I'd need to test it first. I need to make sure that the main systems are wired, that I haven't got any shorts, and check for continuity. So I'll do that by having a power supply, activating that, make sure there's no shorts across the main power circuits, and then just going through each circuit by circuit to make sure it's okay before I eventually hook up the ECU, making sure that power and ground go to the appropriate pins so I don't blow anything up. So there's still quite a lot of work to do on the electrical side to get it working, testing, and then once it seems to be working, I can see whether I can get the engine to start. Then it's time to loom everything up